Aita for telling my sister that literally anyone can get knocked up. Info. What was the sister's reference to fertility issues about? Did your sister have problems that made it really hard to conceive and carry her son? You said anyone can get knocked up, but that's not true. I wonder if the sister had a history of infertility/IVF/miscarriages B/C. That would affect how I see the situation. Her son was fine. No issues there. But she is having trouble giving him a sibling. She's insufferable, but I has a friend who was unable to conceive after her first child, and it was devastating to her. To make the comment that anybody can get knocked up, knowing that she can't, at least for the time being, is cruel. Especially knowing how much of her identity is tied up in being a mother. Congrats on succeeding. I know I couldn't make it through med school, but it sounds like her insecurity is talking, so it's cool to defend your achievements, but do that with attacking her on what's clearly a really sensitive subject. You're both dismissive and jealous of one another, and dinner with y'all sounds unpleasant. I hesitate to both sides this without knowing whether Op deals with we're so proud of our other kid/why don't you have kids like your sibling? From family to the extent that their sister apparently deals with we're so proud of Op/why don't you go back to school? Yes, I do. Posted this, but my mom told me I need to start having kids now that my sister is infertile. I get tons of shit for this. Your sister for making her mom life seem more important than your med life. Everyone does has their talents, and she cold just ended it there instead of condescendingly saying you'd never be able to handle it. But you cold just said we will never have the same goals, and that's fine. But you shouldn't talk down about my life choices as I won't about yours. No, not everyone can get knocked up. And no, being a good mom is not the bare minimum. I do not ever want children personally, and wouldn't want someone who made their life being a mom to feel bad about it. You both lead very different and difficult lives, and you guys might never face the same challenges. You both need to understand that. No, we all have our talents. Op can study all day, but she could never handle being a mother with fertility issues. She would find it as difficult as I would find med school. What backhanded snide bullshit. NTA. Women with fertility issues that act like this give all the others a bad name. I'm a medical resident. Literally anyone can get knocked up. Are you sure about that? I'm not a medical resident, but even I know more than half the people in the world literally cannot get knocked up. I think that the fact you realized how much you could have hurt her with her fertility issues and it hurts you, that you hurt her shoes, that you really love your sister, and this was just an outburst. Just talk to your sister and explain that you never meant to make her feel like that, and that you just got upset. Obviously you love her a lot. I hope things get better between you two. I was torn between ESH and YTA, but after reading some comments, I think it's Aita. Your sister seems perfectly content with her life, and like the only thing she wants is to be a wife/mom. So it kind of is her whole personality. She doesn't do anything else, it sounds like. So what else is she supposed to talk about? Also, it seems like you've never mentioned how it bothers you that now she's just a mom. So she probably didn't know it was annoying. She also, from your comments, is struggling with getting pregnant again. So you likely really hurt her by saying that anyone can get knocked up because she isn't. You'd be enough of that. Comment anyways, as it's not true, and why things like IVF are a thing. She also prides herself on being a good mom, and you said that that's the bare minimum. So you just said that her doing her best and giving her all is the bare minimum. And basically, she's worthless. She made a comment about how she couldn't do what you do, which is school and work. And she doesn't think you could handle fertility issues or being a mom. Maybe it was said in poor taste or not worded right, but it seems accurate. You don't want to be a mom, and you just straight up wouldn't deal with fertility issues because you don't want kids. Instead of talking to her about how that comment made you uncomfortable or you felt it wasn't appropriate, you called her useless / told her she was doing the bare minimum and told her that anyone could get knocked up. Further cementing that she's worthless / useless because she can't do what anyone can do. and likely reinforcing the feelings of her body is broken and useless. BC she can't get pregnant, which a lot of women who have fertility issues deal with. You literally said you could not live with them. Is she not right? Aita, read her comment again. She was not saying you'd make a bad mom. She was saying it would be difficult for you. Just like being in the medical field would be difficult for her. She was answering the aunt's question in a way that differentiated your two life choices, not potted them against one another. The only competition and rudeness was brought into the conversation by you. You even admit that being a mother is important to your sister and her identity, and not to yours. So why the hostility, especially with her difficulties with fertility? Do you think it is annoying you have thrown years of your life and identity into med school? She has dedicated decades of her life to parenting. Being a good parent is just as crucial as being a good doctor, way more so to the children in question. I think you should really evaluate why you have this animosity towards her and apologize after that, so you know what you are actually apologizing for. Info: are you sure your sister feels superior about being a mom and not just excited about being a mom? Has she actually ever said anything to you that puts you down for not being a mom? Have you been open about your feelings in regard to parenthood? While I do know there is a lot of shaming of people who don't want to become parents, I also know not everyone does that. But if you are expecting to be shamed for that, you might be looking for a attitude that just isn't there. A lot of the negativity I'm reading is from your interpretation of what she said, rather than what she actually said. If you don't want to be a mom, it is very unlikely you will be a good one. It's hard to be a good mom, even while wanting to be one. Shouldn't a medical student know that not just anybody can get pregnant? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? You clearly look down on your sister, who does work hard to unjudge stay-at-home moms hardcore, despite saying you don't. She did not just get pregnant, not an achievement, but she looks after kids full time and that's exhausting and very difficult. But she seems to look down on you for not being a mom and working in the medical field. Especially all that success is also very hard work. Your ideas of life may be different, but guess what? Neither of you is better or worse than the other, and as grown adults you should learn that. Aita, you literally said in your post you couldn't handle being a mom. You literally knock your sister in your post for being a SAHM. Then you say that she needled you, while you couldn't even not be cruel in your post about her. Is getting into med school great? Yes. Hell yeah it is. You go, girl. But your sister was absolutely right to point out that everyone has different skills. Particularly when it sounds like your aunt was intentionally getting a dig in at her as it stands. Aita, Jesus Christ. Not everyone can get knocked up. That's absolutely cruel to say to someone with fertility issues. You told someone with secondary infertility that literally anyone can have a baby. I thought doctors were supposed to be compassionate. You both sound as bad as each other. NTA. But I do want to say that your sister may be facing an inferiority complex to you. I'm not sure what your family dynamic is like, but perhaps your academic achievements and success makes you outshine your sister in the eyes of your family. And for your sister, putting her son and her motherhood accomplishments is her way to maintain her pride and ego and eclipse her insecurity of not having gone to school and the unplanned pregnancy. NTA, anyone can get knocked up, and being a good parent should be the bare minimum. It's impossible to compare that to going to school and slaving and accomplishing a degree/career. They're both very hard in different ways. I should point out that someone had to give birth to you up and you were once an annoying sniveling little kid. We all were. Creating life is important and valuable, and in some cases not creating life is just as honorable. Women can and used to straight up die giving birth, literally giving their life, and then once the kid is born you really do lose yourself. You're supposed to, and if you don't you're a shit mother. I change my thing now to Aita. Not only for the dig at her fertility, but she literally said she'd find med school hard, so even her insult was just in your head. Aita, with your attitude towards parenthood, I wonder why she has a chip on her shoulder about this. Also, serious dick move by your aunt to interrogate her about her career plans right after your parents praised you on your career. Aita, while sister was obnoxious to you in response to what sounds like being made to feel less than from parents/aunt. You brought a nuclear weapon in response to a BB gun insult. Can you imagine how often your sister must get that what you do is not enough passive-aggressive BS? Her response was in essence "Op is not better than me." To which your response was in essence "Your accomplishments are nothing. Of course I'm better than you." Apostrophe. Aita, you sound extremely elitist and no, not everyone can get knocked up. Esh. You were both catty and passive-aggressive. Be happy and supportive of each other's lives instead. Yes, anyone can get knocked up, but it takes heart and effort to be a good mother and raise a good kid, which your sister has done where many other mothers have failed. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.